I said it was ugly alpha male boasting, yes. And is it the sort of thing that some men do? Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. Doesn't it? I mean, it's not good, it's not nice, it's not pretty, but you know, sometimes groups of people get together and say all sorts of boastful things to each other, never imagining they'll appear on the front page of national newspapers.
Yeah, is it the kind of talk that you engage in then?
No.
And if it was the kind of talk that you heard around a pub table, would you find it acceptable?
No, I've heard it many times throughout my life, and I've always felt slightly awkward by it, but a lot of people do talk like that, and it's all well and good for the media to moralise and say, oh gosh, surely people don't speak like this. Unfortunately, sometimes people do.
What we're talking about is a man who's effectively condoning physical sexual assault, and you're saying, this is just the kind of thing men get into.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what it is.
Even at the worst case scenario, if literally you take those words and you're right, you know, he would counter, as he did tonight, by saying, I only said horrible things. Bill Clinton did horrible things. That is, I'm afraid, that is what the US presidential election has come down to.
Well, let's talk about the man who is himself. Well, let's talk about the man who is himself at the moment putting himself forward to be president. Do you still think it is appropriate for a man who talks about sexual assault in that way to be American president?
Well, you've either got a man who was talked in that way, or a woman in the pay of Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank. So the American voters must take their pick.
Right, and so you're saying you would still wholeheartedly support him and endorse him. Never mind that. What would you do? Because a lot of people find it deeply uncomfortable hearing you defend these kinds of comments.
Well, let's not say never mind that. Let's get things straight, shall we? I've never endorsed him at any point. I'm not saying to the American people they should vote for Donald Trump, but what I am saying to them is that, you know, Brexit brings some big lessons for Western politics, and there are some really big direct crossovers between what happened in Brexit and what is happening here in American politics.